Am I the astronaut for having my girlfriend arrested and refusing to drop the charges? I, 30 male, was dating H, 27 female, for 5 years. Our relationship had a few ups and downs, but whose relationship hasn't? About 2 months ago, my girlfriend left our apartment, we're both on the lease, it'll come to light later, to go to the grocery store around 5 p.m. When she hadn't returned by 10, I started to get worried. She wasn't answering calls or texts, and also her location on Life 360 was disabled. Noticing she left her smartwatch there, I opened it up, hoping it would give me her location, and while going through it, got stuck in her messaging app. Hold up, got stuck in her messaging app? Yeah. I could not move beyond the messaging app. I just had to keep scrolling. The only way to get out was to scroll. While in that part of the watch, I saw text from another guy's name with a heart next to it. After reading a few, it was very apparent that she was cheating on me, and at the current time was out on a date with him. Upset that this is the second time she has done this to me. Hold up. It's the second time. I texted her saying I knew what she was out doing, and when she comes home, we have a lot to discuss. She did not return that night. I am a local commercial truck driver, so I spend a decent amount of my days outside the apartment, usually from about 5 a.m. to 4 p.m. Over the next 6 weeks, she would come and go from the apartment, swapping clothes, seeing our pets, but it was always gone before I came home. During this time, there was also minimal contact. After the time spent with H, I honestly wanted the relationship to continue, but I knew if it did, she needed to get her affairs in order. Saying get your affairs in order is like a threat, isn't it? Oh, she needs to plan on getting out. Get your shit together. Got it. Okay. I told her if she wanted to continue to be in the relationship with me, she needed to go see a counselor and enroll us in couples counseling. After a few weeks of still not seeing her and her saying that she's just going to worry about herself, I made a couple of dating profiles to get back out into the world. I deserve to be happy as well, right? I don't feel like that was really what you were going for here. Well, after about 2 weeks of talking to other people, I'm sitting on the couch at home and hear something at the door. H walks in, says she's staying here for the time being. She's on the lease and has every right to be there just like me. Realizing she's not wrong and not wanting to involve the police or landlord, I shrugged my shoulders, told her that she can sleep on the couch. That's how it was for a few days. I still went out to work, went on a date or two, like she wasn't there. We had a few meals together, but it was very awkward to say the least. After about a week of her being there, I had a light day at work and was let out at lunchtime. On my way home, I stopped at an authentic Mexican restaurant to grab some tacos, and while there, thinking I'll make a nice gesture, also grabbed her favorite burrito. When I got home, she said she didn't want it and didn't feel well, so I put it on the fridge. Sat down at the other end of the couch, not near her, and started eating. After I was done, she got up, retrieved her food, and sat next to me on the couch for the first time since being at the apartment. Midway through her lunch, she opens up her phone, shows me the Facebook profile of the women I've been constantly seeing over the past 2 weeks, telling me she went through my phone the night before, got her info, and has proceeded to message her on both Facebook and cell phone, telling the new girlfriend to stay away from her man. I reminded her that she has said she's only worrying about herself and hasn't seen a counselor or attempted couples therapy, so I no longer had any interest in trying to continue the relationship. And that's when shit hit the fan. She got up screaming that I'm a horrible person, threw her burrito at me, and ran into the bedroom. Not wanting my dogs to get to the mess and possibly get sick, I started throwing the remnants away and grabbed the vacuum for the rest of the mess. Once I was finished cleaning, she came out of the bedroom with 5 or so of my sharp, pointy things and started throwing them, blade first at me, calling me a liar, POS, and a lot of other colorful things. Not wanting the situation to escalate further than it already has, I grabbed my phone, wallet, and keys and tried to leave. She grabbed a couple of the sharp things that ricocheted off my legs from the floor and guarded the door, telling me she's not letting me leave. That's when my phone came out and I started recording. I got upset and, knowing that I got it on camera, called the police. She did the same, trying to make a false report that I threatened her with a weapon, and she did what she did in self-defense. Once the police got there, they separated us. I showed the officer the video and gave my side of the story. After about 10 minutes of talking, the officer I was talking to trades places with her partner, walks over to H, puts her in cuffs, and escorts her to the police vehicle. After the police left, I shot a text message to the mother and father of H because she was very active in talking to them, and I didn't want to receive frantic messages wondering where she is. And now the parents are treating me like I did something wrong. H is being held in jail unless someone pays $15,000 to bail her out. I have no interest, and her parents live across the country. They're now calling and texting me saying I'm the asshole and that I should drop the charges. Their baby doesn't belong in jail. In one phrase, I don't want to be there either. In another, she caused and did a lot of harm, and I don't see the benefit to her not being there. That's my story. Am I the astronaut? Ladies and gentlemen, Candy Thunder!
This might be the most dysfunctional relationship that we've ever seen. And this was a follower submission, right? Yeah, this was a follower submission.
Oh.
There are people that can be toxic to each other, but aren't actually toxic people. And this guy she kind of seems like she's toxic all over the place. I don't know that he's a toxic person, but together they make the most I think we've ever seen.
And that's a really, really good observation. There are plenty of people who the pairing ends up being toxic to this degree, but separate or with other people, completely normal, fine, normal people.
I don't feel like the burrito should have been damaged in this. Like, he was being nice. He bought you a burrito. I mean, let's not talk about the sharp objects or
threw a burrito at him
fake
which was entirely hypocritical because she was calling him out for doing things that she's done multiple times, right? She's like, yeah, and I'm gonna chuck a burrito at you.
Right.
Was it hot or still frozen? Or I guess it wasn't frozen. He picked it up on the way home. So, like, did she heat it up first? Because if so, that matters.
Well, I think he just brought her a burrito from a Taco Bell, and she threw it at him, which is...
She was obviously hypocritical here.
This is I have problems. I can do whatever I want, but you can't. I own you. You can't be with anyone else, but I don't want you either. And that, to me, is a very toxic person. Like, she's ASCON 1. She needs to be in jail. That's where she belongs. This could have escalated to something so much worse than what it did.
Well, and she tried to.
Yeah, she seems. I mean, throwing sharp, pointy objects at people. We all know what that is. But throwing that, I mean, that's to the point where she is where she deserves to be.
So, Zanita, you say cheating back is not a good solution, though. They weren't together. Whenever he was starting to date other people, they weren't together anymore. But both of their names were on the lease for this apartment, which is why she showed back up. So she had, at that point, the relationship was over. She didn't have any right to go through his things. Not that he had a right to go through her things either. But that was the second time whenever he went through her stuff, got stuck in her messaging app, which sounds like bullshit, by the way.
Well, I mean, he probably had a suspicion and went to confirm his suspicions with whatever device he could get his hands on. Right. And I'm not saying that's the right way to do things, but obviously something prompted that. He'd been cheated on by this person before, so trust was already broken.
Right.
One, I don't know how you could have stayed in this relationship. And I don't think he did. He left, obviously, because he was starting to see other people. But I don't know why. I'm like, I don't know. It's just weird.